Okay, so wrapping up units 3 and 4. I want to identify the following in this graph. So slope, y-intercept, x-intercept. So x-intercept is where it touches on the x-axis. So go to the x-axis, okay, which is this one, and it touches right there. So that, remember, it's positive, positive, negative, negative, 1, 2, 3. So that is a negative 3. The y-intercept is where it touches on the y. So that would be 1, 2, 3. That's also a negative 3. And the slope, now there's two ways you can find slope. You can either set up a t-chart and use the ordered pairs. So negative 2, negative 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, positive 1. You could certainly do that, or you could do the rise over run. It's decreasing, so it's negative. And then remember, rise is up and down, and run is to the right. So you go down 2 and right 2. So 2 over 2, which is negative 1. Either way, you're going to get the same answer, okay? So you could have subtracted, done the same thing. Negative 4 minus becomes negative 4 plus 2 is a negative 2. 1 minus a negative 1, those cancel out, so 1 is 2. And then negative 2, so 2 divided by negative 2 is also negative 1. So either way, the graph of the line L is shown below. Find the equation of the line that is parallel. Now parallel means it will have the same slope and is translated 5 units up. Now, I like the translated. Translated means you're either going to go up or down. Since you're going up, I'm going to start at the y-intercept, okay? And I'm going to go up 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I started halfway, so I have to go halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm right there. So it's not going to be in the negatives. It's going to be the positive. It's going to be positive 2.5. Now, this is 1.5. So here's your 1.5. That's a 2.5. Remember, it's going to have the same slope. So look at your slope. Up 1 over 2. So up 1 over 2. So that means that has the same slope. So my answer is D. Now you could graph those and see which would be parallel. You could graph all those on there, but same slope, and then you translate it. So you move the y-intercept. Number 3, if I have a sequence, remember, set up your t-chart. This is the first term, so my first term is negative 7. My second term is a negative 4. My third term is a negative 1. And my fourth term is a 2. And then the fifth term is a 5. So I would just have to graph those. And remember, when you graph, I've got to use X. So you want to graph those and see which one gives you that table. So go to a brand new document, and I'm going to graph. So I'm going to graph all of them. So 3.5x, hit the down arrow button. Negative 3x minus 4, hit the down arrow button. Negative 7x, hit the down arrow button. And then 3x minus 10. And then hit enter. Once you get all 4 of them, go to Control T. So when I look at my table, the first one has to be a negative 7. So the blue one is gone. This one has a negative 7. Now look at your table. This should be a negative 4. That does not match. So the blue one and the red one are gone. So now I'm to the black one. Negative 7. Oh, that's a negative 14. So that doesn't match. So it means it should be D. Let's make sure. So arrow over. Starts with negative 7, negative 4, negative 1, 2, and then 5. Yes, that's a match. So my answer is D. Number 4, table shows the corresponding x and y values for a linear function. What is the value of y when x equals 8? Well, when x equals 8, if I go look over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, so 6, 7, 8. I've got to keep going. Now, to keep going, I need to find my rate. So I'm going to subtract 2 minus 1 is 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. When I divide, 5 divided by 1 is 5. So my slope, or my rate, is a positive 5. So every single time, if you look at it, 1 plus 5 gives me 6. 6 plus 5 gives me 11. 11 plus 5 gives me 16. Okay, so every single time I'm adding 5. So 21 plus 5 is 26. 26 plus 5 is 31. And 31 plus 5 is 36. So 8 goes with 36. So my answer is D. On number 5, how would the graph of this line change if negative 2 is replaced with negative 1/2? So y equals negative 1/2 x minus 3. So remember, the first one is going to come up blue. The second one is going to come up red. And we're going to see what's going to happen. So let's graph. Now, if you're looking at your equations, remember when you change the slope, which is in front of x, it should become flatter or steeper. So we're going to graph the first one, 4x plus 3. Down arrow, that's my blue one. Now I'm changing it so that, oops, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. I did the wrong problem. So I'm going to go back. This is negative 2x minus 3. Sorry about that. Negative 2x minus 3. Down arrow. Now I am changing the slope, so it should make it either positive, more steep, or more flat. Enter. And it did. It still is at the same y-intercept, so you see it's still at negative 3. But my blue line, it got flatter. It went away from the y-axis. So the new line got more flat. It went from this to down here. Okay, so it got flatter. Number 6. So I'm going to go to a brand new one, and I'm going to change where the number 3 is replaced with a negative 2. So 4x minus 2. I'm going to change that one. So this one's going to be blue, and my second one is now going to be a red line, the one that has a negative 2 in it. So 4x minus 2. All right, so let's go and graph to a brand new document. So this time you've got 4x plus 3. Down arrow, and I've now got 4x minus 2. Now, I did not change the slope, so they should be parallel. Yep, they're parallel. Now do menu 5-1. You went from the blue one to the red one, so you shifted down. So the line shifts down 5 units. Now, it's not 2 units, it's 5 units, because you were, now look at your graph, you're up here, I'm going to hit the up arrow again, you're up at positive 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then you went 2 units below, because you went 5 whole units. So you went down 5 units. So be careful, because sometimes they'll say shift down and then have the same number. So be careful on that. All right, number 7. What if the graph 2x plus 3 is translated 5 units down? Now, let's look at this graph, okay? I'm going to start at positive 3. So 1, 2, 3. There's my y-intercept. And then you, remember your slope is rise over run. So up 2 over 1. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. There is my line, okay? Now, I'm going to translate. Translate means you're going to go up or down. I'm going to translate 5 units down. So start at the y-intercept, go 5 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're now at negative 2. That is my y-intercept, negative 2. So it can't be 8, can't be positive 3, it's not negative 5, it should be this one. And I didn't change the slope. Notice 2x and 2x are the same. So that's why it's G. On number 8, Troy graphed the line of this equation. Now when I graph, the first one will always come up blue. This one is Troy's. And Sarah graphed the line of this equation. So Sarah's is going to come up red on the same coordinate plane, which best describes the line that's Sarah. Sarah is the red one, okay? So I want to look at the red one. Now, when it says it's referring to the red. It is steeper than Troy's is the blue, okay? Anytime it says Troy's is talking about the blue line. It's referring to Sarah, okay? So let's go to a brand new document. Okay, and I'm gonna graph. The first one, Troy's line is 1/3 x minus 2. And then the red one, Sarah's, is 1/3 x plus 2. Now, noticing, I'm looking at them, it's 1/3 x, 1/3 x, the slopes are the same, so they should be parallel. They are parallel, okay? So they're parallel. Look at your choices. Parallel, okay? So it's probably gonna be G or H because it's parallel. It's not steeper and it's not exactly the same. So it's parallel, so I want one of those. Now, do menu 5-1. That's Troy's line is the blue one. But I want to know about the red line. I had to go up. So it refers to the red line. It's parallel and it's above Troy's line. It's above Troy's line, so it's G. And then the last two. For the following equation, rewrite them in slope-intercept form. So that means I want to solve for y. And then you're going to identify the slope and y-intercept. Okay, so box y. That means I need to move x to the other side. That becomes minus x. So you've got y equals 6 minus x. Okay, now if you don't see a number in front, you put a 1. So the slope is always in front of x, so that is -1. And the y-intercept, b, is always a number that does not have a variable, so that's 6. That's your answer. Okay? On the next one, I'm going to solve for y. So I want this 4y by itself. So I'm going to move 2x to the other side. Now this is where a lot of people make a mistake. That's -4y. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and write that again. Just because I do not want to ignore that and I want you to see it. So -4y equals 8 minus 2x. Since this is positive, when it comes over here, it becomes a negative. That's a mistake a lot of you make. And then you have to divide everything by -4. So you've got y equals -2. And then when you divide -2 by -4, you get positive 1/2 x. So remember slope and y-intercept. Slope is always the one that's in front of x, so that is a positive 1/2. And then the y-intercept is the one that doesn't have a variable, which is -2. So there's your answer. And then number 11, what is the slope of the relationship? To find slope from a table, you just subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. -10 minus a -6 is -4. Swing that over. -4 divided by 1 is -4. And it doesn't matter which 2 points you use, you would get the same thing. -2 minus 2 is -4. Swing it over. -4 divided by 1 is -4. It doesn't matter. You get the same thing.